You know what's banned in prison? Weapons. And you know what prison is full of? It's full of weapons. Every day the incarcerated find new and inventive ways to stab, shoot, bludgeon, and maim each other. But prisons are secure places. You can't just bring in knives and guns. So look, prisoners with nothing but time, they make these things themselves. I mean, not guns and knives, but equivalent stuff. We're not just looking at your run-of-the-mill sharpened toothbrushes here. We're going to explore several inventive and really psychotic devices inmates have managed to jerry-rig together while behind bars. Starting off strong, one piece of incredible prison engineering is one that apparently really proves necessity is the mother of invention, and in prison you do need a crossbow. Back in 1998 in Stone Mountain Penitentiary in Manitoba, Canada, where one inmate with far too much time on his hands was able to MacGyver his way into building a fully functional crossbow, bolts and all. It was made from toothbrushes, a cigarette lighter, a pen, a wire coat hanger, cafeteria tongs, electrical components, rubber gloves, tissues, string, and a few screws. The bolts were crafted from tightly rolled paper, Q-tips, aluminium foil, wire, and masking tape. You can see the firing mechanism as well as the natural tension provided by the plastic housing and the drawstring. It is reported that the prisoner in question was stuck in solitary confinement when he started to design and create it. Fortunately for whoever was in this wannabe marksman's sights, he never got the opportunity to use his creation as it was discovered and confiscated by the guards. And it's a good thing too, as when we say this crossbow was fully functional, we really do mean it. Tests carried out by staff after confiscating it, it's the first time in my life I'm thinking being a prison warden actually sounds like a fun job. They found that the darts could be fired up to 40 feet, that's 12 meters, with stunning accuracy. It was so impressive that it's now housed in a museum on the site of the prison. How the inmate was able to effectively balance the bolts and ensure that they would fly straight with no precise machinery or tools speaks to the engineering prowess of its creator. The Mythbusters would actually go on to test whether a crossbow of this design could be made from prison materials and found it to not only be pinpoint accurate, but also deadly. No material is safe in prison from being weaponized. Even something as soft and as flimsy as paper can be turned into something capable of delivering serious harm, and we're not talking about paper cuts. This is the Millwall brick, so named after its extensive use among football hooligans. Don Hummer, an associate professor of public affairs at Pennsylvania State University and co-author of The Culture of Prison Violence, describes the method for how they're made in the Slammer, quoting here, "A simple common weapon found in prison is very tightly rolled paper. The paper is moistened, usually via the sink or toilet water in cells, added to and continuously rolled to the point when dried it become almost as hard as a solid wooden club." In a way, the Millwall brick was born out of the same necessity as in prisons. When crackdowns were made over what could be brought into football stadiums, hooligans looking to cause violence with improvised weapons that could be admitted without suspicion, like a newspaper. Prisons across the world do offer various forms of paper to their inmates, from books and religious texts to writing and drawing paper to magazines and broadsheets. There are certainly plenty of opportunities to make them. However, even with how easy they are to make, there are no recorded cases of one being used in prison. Perhaps they take too long to make when a simple lock in a sock is a bit more effective. So yes, even in prisons, the places that are supposed to be the most secure, people are able to build basic guns that will fire a projectile or a bullet. These are often called zip guns. I'm not going to tell you how they're built because that would be pretty irresponsible of us, but there are a surprising number of instances where homemade firearms have been put to use. In the infamous Celle prison in Germany, the 1980s saw several firearm-related incidents. The most famous saw the creation of a f***ing shotgun, which two prisoners used to escape. They constructed the firearm entirely from materials found inside the jail before they took a guard hostage and escaped by car. It was clearly both functional and dangerous, as the inmates were able to seriously damage bulletproof glass by firing at it during their escape. Unbelievably, this was not the only incidence of this happening in this very same prison. In the same year, 2 more inmates were able to construct a double-barreled pistol in the prison's metal workshop, which maybe they shouldn't have, loaded with match heads and pieces of steel as a stand-in for bullets. Coffee creamer seems like a perfectly normal item for prisoners to be allowed to have, unless you've ever set it on fire. which I guess Ollie, who wrote the script, has not done. After all, it's just powder that helps coffee taste a little less bitter. I mean, how could it possibly be turned into a weapon again, Ollie? It goes up like nothing else. And why has it been banned in US prisons for over 40 years? Well, the answer lies in Texas, and in the prison of Victoria County known as Darrington. A newspaper article from the local paper sees the assistant warden, C.T. O'Reilly, explain just how coffee creamer can be turned into a single-use flamethrower. You see, dry powders, like coffee creamers, are actually pretty flammable. They are high in sugar and fat, which burns well, and it's a fine dust, which provides a lot of surface area, and because it's dry, it can light pretty quickly. All that needs to be introduced is a bit of a spark. The assistant warden puts it best, quoting here, "The inmates would roll up a piece of paper, put coffee mate in it, put a cigarette lighter in front of it, blow it out, and it's just like a flamethrower." So many inmates were doing this that specific coffee creamers were totally removed from the prison commissary list in 1984. Now US prisoners appear to be able to purchase the coffee creamers again in the modern day. Perhaps the ingredients have been changed to mitigate the risks, or prisoners simply aren't in the business of making flamethrowers anymore. Either way, it shows how prisoners are able to make complex weapons capable of serious bodily harm out of the simplest things available to them. One US inmate, in particular, took the time to channel his inner Bruce Lee. Lorenzo Pollard was incarcerated in 2011 in a prison in St. Louis, Missouri, but he had seen enough and he wanted out. But what was the weapon he was going to craft? Perhaps a shiv or something practical? Or how about the opposite of those things? Lorenzo, having seen one too many action and kung fu movies in his youth, made nunchucks crafted from 2 chair legs tied together with a bedsheet. You know what else? They actually worked. Not only was he able to fight off a dozen armed guards, he was also able to break a window, squeeze through an escape hatch, and scale 2 barbed wire fences to reach his freedom, all whilst waving his nunchucks in the air like a real action hero. I can't believe this is real. His escape from the medium security facility prompted the suspension of the local commissioner. Whilst police captain Sam Dotson, the city's operations director, told a local newspaper, "I'm frustrated by it. The mayor's frustrated by it. These types of failures cannot happen." But you have to admit, he was probably at least a little bit impressed. As for Pollard, he was arrested hours later and returned to prison. He may or may not have won his freedom for long, but he gave us all a story that we will certainly remember. Not only are guns and crossbows possible to build whilst in the slammer, but actual complex explosives are too. One convicted murderer named Peter Saunders was not enjoying his stay as a guest of Uncle Sam's in Illinois' maximum security Stateville Correctional Center. So much so that he decided to build and send a firebomb to a federal judge in protest. Again, we're not going to tell you how he built it, but it was mostly from accessible materials sourced from within the prison. He used a hollowed-out book to send the bomb in, but it was discovered long before it ever reached the judge in question. And this poses a few questions. Firstly, how did someone manage to build a bomb in a maximum security prison? Someone clearly dropped the ball. Secondly, how, as a prisoner, can you be smart enough to jerry-rig a bomb together and at the same time be daft enough to try and send it to a federal judge? The US isn't the only country where homemade explosives are built in penitentiaries, though, as they have also come about in the suitably insane prison system of Ecuador. And what's more, the inmates there seem to have succeeded where their US counterpart failed. Local Ecuadorian media reports that during a riot, there were explosions heard in the literal penitentiary, a facility located in the western port city of Guayaquil, which killed 1 person and left at least 5 others injured. When the authorities stormed back in to quell the violence, they discovered an arsenal of weapons, including homemade grenades fashioned from prison materials. Okay, we've left the scariest weapon today for last. Back in Germany during the 90s, in the Santa Fu prison in Hamburg, one inmate came up with a weapon that looks as horrifying as it is dangerous. The razor whip is a pretty crude weapon that could undoubtedly cause a lot of damage to both the wielder and its unfortunate victim, as it looks completely uncontrollable. It's reported that this was first found inside the cell of an inmate who was a drug addict. The inmate had just attempted to extort a higher ration of methadone from a prison officer with a knife. It's unknown whether this medieval-looking device, crafted out of a wooden handle and a shoelace with razor blades, was made in reaction to the rejection, or whether this was something that he simply had lying around. But the idea that such a weapon was created during symptoms of withdrawal certainly tracks. Notice the heavy bolt tied to the end, ensuring that the blade-laden shoelace would wrap itself around its victim, cutting them to ribbons. This one really is pretty fucking psychotic. So, what do you think were the most outrageous weapons that prisoners have managed to put together while inside? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.